Shalom, brothers and sisters. So wars, rumors of wars, kingdoms against kingdoms and nations against nations, disturbances and upsets all over the world. Putin publicly humiliated Trump. Having long called Putin a friend, over the weekend Trump described his Russian counterpart like we've never heard before. He said, "I don't know what the hell happened to Putin," Trump said. "I've known him a long time, always got along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all." I think the main thing that's upsetting him is the fact that he remembers that he said he would wrap this up in 24 hours. And he's realizing it's way more difficult, especially with someone like Putin and what's actually going on in that part of the world. So let's see what happens next. Is he going to, like the rest, unleash all restrictions for Ukraine to attack into Russia? Finland begins preparing for the worst as Russia expands military presence near their border. In a response to Russia's expanding military infrastructure along the shared 1,340-kilometer border, Finland has intensified its defense preparations, adopting a stance of vigilant readiness as a NATO member. Now that just is common sense, and I would do exactly the same thing if I was sharing a border and I saw them building up troops and making preparations. Obviously you would do that immediately, otherwise you're a really bad custodian of your country's security. German Chancellor lifts restrictions allowing Ukraine to strike military positions deep inside Russia. Speaking at the 27th International WDR Europa Forum on May the 26th, MERS emphasized that the decision enables Ukraine to bolster its defense capabilities. There are no longer any limits on long-range strikes with weapons transferred to Ukraine. Not from Britain, not from France, and not from us. So again, opening up a whole can of worms for potential further chaos in this war that could really go down fast. Ukraine just attempted to take down Putin's chopper with a whole bunch of drones. So there's various stories around this one. They weren't aiming for him specifically, but his helicopter visiting the front was in the midst of a drone attack from Ukraine at the same time. He's fine, obviously. Probably had defensive bears flying around the helicopter, punching the drones, who knows. But yes, that did happen. How Russia will respond to that is probably just with a further and a bigger strike on Kiev or somewhere else in Ukraine again. Once again, please pray for the Ukrainian civilians and people on the ground. The Christians in Ukraine, there's a lot of them that also need Bibles and need support prayerfully. So pray for them. And just ask the Lord to be with them in this situation and watch what's happening. I think there's big things that are going to go down in that area very fast, very soon in 2025. And whether that's got anything to do with Trump's attempts to make peace between the parties or anything, we'll see. But it's really such a time of chaos and war and infighting all over the world like we haven't seen in our lifetimes. And people don't realize this because we are so well entertained. And just like the Romans entertained the masses in the Colosseum to keep their minds there in the games while they didn't see what was actually going on amongst the powerful, is exactly what they're doing now as well. And we need to be very wake up and careful and spend time in the Word so that we're not part of the masses, because sometimes the M is silent. Sorry. And you need to be vigilant. You need to be watchful. You need to be prayerful. You need to be looking through the lens of God's word at all times. Shalom.